to start, the red carpet event that's going to be happening inside the bowl.
It
What
is.
should people know about that? Is it just first come, first serve, and is there a capacity?
There is a capacity. It is first come, first serve. We're actually finalizing. We have a Lambeau Field stadium usage meeting tomorrow, and we're walking through what that looks like. But there is going to be seating for fans to watch the red carpet, but also generally, right? We're lucky enough to have Lambeau as our backdrop because then you can find and utilize the efficiencies of a stadium, the bathrooms, the concessions, the seating. We don't have seating for everybody, of course, at the draft. It's a very mobile event and you're on your feet quite a bit. So we're working through what that number is going to be because we want to make sure that we are programming the stadium accurately. But yes, the red carpet's going to take place starting at, I think it's 4:30 p.m. local time on Thursday. That's where the prospects will go before they head over to the Rush Center, where they enter the green room and wait for the draft to kick off, which Thursday night, the draft kicks off. The broadcast kicks off at 7 p.m. Central. So there'll be a lot more programming happening on the theater stage prior to that. But yeah, it's a great opportunity for fans to see our prospects. But it is going to be first come, first serve based on the capacity that we're working through right now.
Lambeau could hold 60,000, but I'm
I know.
guessing you're probably going to limit that just because you want to make sure people are outside and you have that good crowd for the TV cameras.
That's right. Are you in our meetings? You must be.
I feel like I am at this point, but
Yeah, I think the most important thing with the draft for us is community. And we know that football is a unifier and it brings people together globally, right? That's our same strategy internationally when we start looking at watch parties and things like that for Super Bowl or game watch parties. Bringing people together is really important for us. And having them all together showing up for broadcast, ABC, ESPN, and NFL Network is really important to us. So, of course, we do want that sea of humanity, that sea that you saw last year in Detroit. You saw it in Kansas City. You saw it in Philly. You saw it in Vegas. You see it in every draft market that we're at, that we want to bring people together. And that standing room only behind the theater is that sea of people that we know are going to be in their green and gold and showing up for the Packers. That's really the goal. But yes, we will have access to Lambeau proper for the atrium, of course, the museum, the restaurants, the concessions, the bathrooms, the retail, the shop. And we'll work through what that is operationally with our team.
you mentioned bathrooms. I know I've heard a couple questions on this. I guess will there be enough? Is the best route to, hey, if you got to go, maybe go inside the concourse?
We'll have banks. I haven't answered a bathroom question yet, but yes, we will have banks of portos that actually flush, which is great. And then we, of course, will have access to the concourse. So yes, I mean, if you know Lambeau and that's what you know, you can head to the concourses. But yes, we also have releasing today our fan-facing map, which we were giving our final touches on, and that shows everything from bathrooms to concessions to bars to nursing mothers rooms, like all of those fan services. We have a sensory room for our fans that are neurodivergent. So all of the things that you need outside of Lambeau, right? This is an entire fan facing map. We're actually releasing that today. So you should check out the NFL One Pass app. That will have all the information on Know Before You Go, including where some of those key locations are for some of the fan facing elements.
The concert, a lot of people asking about that. When are we going to find out about that?
Oh, you have all the questions. We're actually going through the final approvals now. Well, it would be with our music team. We have our head of music out of LA. So we collaborate with the local team if they have relationships with certain artists. We want, if there's a fan of a certain team, things like that. So we want to make sure that it's a crowd pleaser, and it's somebody that's representative of the community a little bit. But yeah, it'll be a crowd pleaser. You see,
Fair
I didn't
enough.
say he or she.
Yes,
It'll be a crowd pleaser. We'll think it'll be a great show, and that's set to start post round 7 on Saturday. So probably around probably 6 o'clock Central Time or so is when that concert will kick off. We don't know when the draft is going to end every single day, of course, because it's depending upon how long the clubs take on the clock. But we think it's probably around 6 o'clock Central Time on Saturdays when that concert will start.
What's usually the turnaround time to have everything ready to go?
Like a half after the draft ends,
Yeah.
usually half an hour or so. Depends on the set, depends on the backline needs, it depends on the artist, but we try to give it, half an hour, try to be as quick as possible. But the food will still be flowing, the Bud Light will still be flowing during that time. So, it's a great opportunity for everyone to come together and close this out.
Can you say how many acts you have?
No.
Okay, fair enough. The autograph schedule, when is that going to
Yeah.
be out? How many
You
players
must
do you
be in my
expect?
you must be in my inbox. You really got all the heavy hitters. Yes. I arbitrarily picked, I think probably today, in which I was going to release some player names, and we actually need a little bit more time to book them. So we'll have our autograph stage presented by Panini. That schedule will live exclusively in the NFL One Pass app. If you go to the schedule section on the bottom of the toggle, you'll see that schedule Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we're still populating that, trying to get as many, of course, active players, Packers legends, but then players that are going to be part of the opening moment or of night two. We have some men of the year, so we're still actively working through that. But I promise you, by Monday, which I know seems a long time in 6 days, but we're going to have a definite schedule more fleshed out. But as we have guys solidified, we're going to drop them in.
The bikes. The
Yeah,
Packers had mentioned they have a bike for every team,
they
and
do.
there's a wrap for, to
They
signify
do.
every team. What are those used for?
So we're going to use them in some of the stage moments. They're also going to gift them to the teams post event. We're also having our bike parade on Saturday morning for kids ages like 3-ish to say 14. They're going to they can bring their bike down to the site, enter up Armed Forces Drive, and then come through actually our security entrance with just their bike and their helmet. They're not you can't bring in backpacks and things because we are a clear bag policy. So parents, and then if you have little ones, you can come with them. They can come through that Armed Forces Drive entrance and then come through and do a loop around draft experience. And that's from 8 to 9 a.m. ish on Saturday morning. And then they'll be out by the time we open gates at 9 a.m. And we're not doing a bike valet. You got to take your bike back to the car, to mom and dad's car, or to your house if you're local, and riding in from your house. But it's a great way to lean into the tradition of the Packers, which we're excited about.
The stage, is that taken down like right away on Sunday, the day after?
We start taking some things apart Saturday night. Honestly, we want to make sure that we're getting the streets and the city back to where we left it. And so this is a little less intrusive than, say, downtown Detroit, where we were in an urban setting. We were in a downtown corridor. We were in a thoroughfare that had access to Canada, right? It was very complicated in Detroit. This one's less complicated because we are in a parking lot in a more rural side of town. But no, we start bringing that gear down. We want to get people home. Some people will be gone 5, 6 weeks. So we want to get people back to their families and bring the city back, those street closures and all of those things that impact people day to day. We want to make sure that we're getting the city back as quickly as possible. So we actually start a lot of that breakdown and striking Saturday night. And then yes, full loadout starting on Sunday.
I think that's about all I have. Are there any other big announcements that we should be expecting? I think we had the concert, the autographs. Anything else you can think of?
Well, we're really playing up the food experience. We're not doing a separate release. I don't think anything related to this sort of uh supper club, taste of the town type of feel, but we're working really closely with our partners, Delaware North, which is the partners of the Packers and Lambeau, on the food experience. And then there's a number of restaurants that are going to be active during the draft, which is great. Hinterland, 1919, The Turn, Bel Air Cantina. They're all going to be operating as usual, which is great. They're keeping 100% of their revenue, which is great for a local economic impact. And then we're bringing in a number of local vendors. We have our Source program, which is our local diverse-owned business community that we stand up in every single draft in Super Bowl City. So we have a number of Source vendors. We have, I think, 12 of them. Then we have food trucks, and then we have Delaware North. So there's a huge food component to the draft. Certainly will be sort of that Wisconsin fare, but we also have Jamaican food, and we also have Mexican food and Latino inspired food. So we have a lot of different flavors, certainly ones that you know and love, but probably some additional ones coming from around the state.
Um, I know you said that no projections on attendance are going to be announced, but
Oh, close.
based on what you're seeing in the app, can you kind of indicate is everything online for what you're hoping?
We're hoping for a full, safe event with tens of thousands of fans. And so every single market is different. We'll announce our attendance. Our aggregate attendance will come post event. Usually the commissioner likes to announce the attendance on Thursday night from the podium because he is excited about what he's seeing. He loves the draft. He loves seeing fans come together from all 32. The inside of the theater is also going to be representative of all 32 clubs. 14 members of the most like rabid fan base from every single club are going to be in the theater. So building that out, creating that environment. He loves it. He loves seeing it. So he'll probably announce a number from Thursday night. He'll probably announce again on Friday night. Once we have that attendance number based on as you pass through, you're going to have your one pass there. So we'll have an announcement probably Thursday night, Friday night, and then our PR team will pull together an aggregate of all those key metrics for the week of that Monday. The week of what is that? The 28th.
28th, yeah.
Yeah. It'll be busy. Everybody, I know there was some people I think sometimes are a little bit fearful of these big events and try to don't avoid. You should come celebrate. We're putting so much effort into the operations of this event, making sure that the state of Wisconsin, the city of Green Bay, the Packers and their traditions really show up for the community. And we're doing everything that we can that you know before you go what to expect, where to park, clear bag policies in effect. Hopefully no precipitation. Hopefully it's sun and 60s would be beautiful.